I guess we were talking about. Well, I was watching a movie, and I was watching a movie called Old. And I'm just gonna give a mini synopsis of the movie Old. So they win this trip. I guess I'll say they win this trip to this island. They fill out like this paper or whatever. They win a trip to an island. But on the island, there's like a small mini getaway that's recommended to certain guests. And certain guests that actually have health issues or like things that are going on with their health, such as like, I guess I'll say like diabetes or, like low calcium, different things like that, vitamin deficiency. And while they're on this island, they go to this particular part of the island where they experience like an age gap or something like that. Am I right?
Yeah. So on the movie, like she said, they win a little getaway. They fill out the little paper or whatever. They get on the island. Now they, like she said again, they only I would say offer this certain part of the island to certain people that have health issues, like she said. But it's a beach, and when they go on the beach, it's basically like surrounded by a big rock.
Yeah, rocks.
And inside of that little area or whatever, time speeds up. So I'm
not talking about time speeding up like by the day,
it's
but like by the minute, the second. You change, you can change to like you change from a teenager from a kid to a teenager, from a teenager to an adult.
In 5 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've never seen this movie, so I'm
it's crazy. Like one of the ladies actually, like one of the people had a tumor or whatever, and they basically got the tumor out of her or whatever, and they thought that she had died, but time was moving so rapidly
that the tumor grew within that time period. Wow.
Like it just kept growing, so they had to keep cutting it and basically like getting it out. But she really don't feel it because it's like time is actually going that fast, whereas though like it's healing as they
cut it open.
So they actually gotta like hold it or whatever and get the tumor.
It's a good movie. Like, yeah, it's a really great movie because it just tells you like a little bit about like time, and like I think the overall movie was to tell you to enjoy time, but it also showed you towards the end, what the resort was really doing to people. Mm-hmm. They were trying to test medicines and different things on people. So one thing that they did was when you first get on the resort, you drink like this substance or like this drink, the recommended drinks that they give you. The whole time the drink is really medication and pharmaceuticals and different things that they put together with your health, the different things that you describe to them about your health. So it really, they think that they're helping you, but you are actually like risking people's lives on the benefit of trying to, do research for medicine and basically. Mm-hmm. But in the end, like there were only 2 survivors, and that was the children of the parents that had the lady that had the tumor and different things like that. The father went blind towards the end. They actually became like old, like the movie is called Old. These people actually became old, and there was a group of other people with them, like on that specific location that they sent them to. They just watched them. So people watched them and observed them for like. It only was like a day and a half. Yeah, only like 2 Time days. Went so fast where people died within like a day and a half on that island. Like, and it was no way you couldn't go back through the rocks. Once you were in that specific place, you were there. Wow. And you had to figure out, how you were going to survive your way out, different things like that. Yeah. But I say all that to say, like, as far as like the experimentations and the different things that, people do, or like we don't even think of that goes on in the world. Besides that, I was having a conversation about death. Where do we think we go when we die? When we die, do we think like, what are our thoughts on that? Like, where do we think we go? Like, we go, do we automatically die and think we go to heaven? Some people actually, think like when we die, we automatically go to heaven. Or, like, I'll say my opinion is like, I believe that there's an in between. I believe that there is a parallel. And I believe that only because of my knowledge and my teachings on my understanding of how things are, and also with religion. And so my thinking is, God said, I will soon come to judge the living and the dead. So if you're saying that you're going to judge the living and the dead, then that means that the dead are actually just sleep. You know what I'm saying? The dead are actually sleeping. Like, you have a judgment day where everyone, no matter what, they will wake up if you're dead, or if you are still on this earth to see, judgment day and different things occur, then that's when, you go into heaven. That's when things happen. That's when things are assessed. But like, I don't know, I would love to hear your opinions about, what you think about, transcending death, and even like, do you believe in, that you are reincarnated? Like, do you believe in reincarnation? Like, what are your different thoughts on that?
So like, I think, I don't know if anybody in here has ever seen a movie called The Lovely Bones, but it's a good movie. It's another one of those in-between movies where a girl kind of get kidnapped by her neighbor, he kills her, and like, she's in this in-between space the whole time trying to communicate with her family about who killed her. And I'm a Christian. I believe in God and Jesus Christ. And I believe that there may be an in-between phase. Now, when I was younger, I used to think like, okay, we die, we're going to go straight to heaven. Like, we're going to go straight on that stairwell that everybody draw and picture. And we're going to get judged immediately. But now that I'm older, I kind of just feel like, well, maybe, because death and sleep is very closely related. I don't know if anybody really understands that. But so maybe we all sleep, because when I'm asleep, I see people who are here. I see people who passed away in my dreams. It's like another dimension almost. Like, it's real, but it's like some different changes. So it's like, you never know. So I can't say that we are going to get immediately judged. I can't say that we have to wait. But it's definitely something to think about, because like in The Lovely Bones, she died, and she's seen a lot of people who got kidnapped by the same guy and killed by the same guy too. So I think that if we are sleeping, that means that everybody should be trying to get their life right. Because once you sleep and them eyes closed for that final say, that's it. But I mean, if we get judged immediately, that's even worse. Even more reason why you should get your life together even sooner, because once you sleep, there's no more actions you can do to prove yourself.
So wait, what's the question? What happens after death?
What do you believe happens after death? Like, what's your ideals of death, or what do you think like occur?
When you die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But I mean, I'm glad that she said that, because to me, I was going to say something similar of what she said.
I agree.
Like, I definitely think like once you die, you are resting. Mm-hmm. Like, that's permanent sleep. Like, that's permanent rest. Mm-hmm. And so I definitely often say, like, you live this life, and at the end of your life, you should be at peace. Like, and we had this conversation, like, when you end your life, you should be at peace, because you will be wrestling with your own soul or tormenting with your own soul for the rest of your life, because of either the way that you lived your life on this earth, mm-hmm. or like your actions or different things that occurred. Now, I don't know if everybody really believes that, but that's just my perception of it. Like, I definitely think at the end of this life, if anything, you should be at peace within yourself, because that will put you in a place where, like she said, I definitely believe in different parallels, I'll say. Or I wouldn't say different universes, because I don't know about that, but I'll say different parallels, different dimensions. And I definitely believe, like, when you sleep, you have dreams. And when you sleep, you definitely sometimes go into this mode of, like, where you feel like you can't move, you're stuck, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's just like, who knows what our dreams teach us or tell us about ourselves or tell us about different, worlds or universes or different things like that. Like, we don't know. We just know what the information that,
And can I say something? Oh, no, I can get somebody else to floor, but...
No, go.
Cool, I'm sorry. So, like, with the whole dimension thing, it makes you think of spirituality more in realms, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, okay, we all live in this normal world that they created, and we live like this and we live like that. But it makes you think, like, the chance of not knowing what's next can make you just feel like, okay, well, what, like, even if I don't go to heaven, I want to say, what if some people believe that their bodies or their souls can change from a human and they can reincarnate into something else. I think that people should realize, like, regardless of what might be next, you should still live kind of like there's not a second chance. You know what I'm saying? That's a big topic that I don't know if we're going to be able to get into tonight, but about how people live. Like, I mean, it'll all branch off. If we get there, but I think that's a good topic to understand when it comes to time and dimensions and different realms and spirituality.
Most of what I was gonna say is, lately, through like personal experiences, I've been able to grow what I would say is a better understanding of death in general. I lost my grandma recently, like I was telling you, and I was fortunate enough to be there to watch her take her, last breaths and everything like that. And one of the things that I really agreed with that you said was how closely it was related to how I would see someone fall asleep in a way. Like, it wasn't anything that was, in movies and media, it's very dramatized and very cinematic, but it wasn't really like that. It was real peaceful and real more so like she just fell asleep kind of. So I definitely agree with that part of it. And I do think when I was younger, like she was saying, I thought it was more of a direct thing. Like, you die, you get judged, then that's where you go in heaven. Hell, it's not a process really. But now, within grieving and things like that, I've definitely realized like it's way more complex than I was brought up to believe, I guess, is what I said.
I definitely think once you get older, like, you get more wiser. And, like,
Definitely.
like, I think that's evident with people we come in contact with, our grandparents, our aunts, different things like that. Like, you realize, they know a lot of things and, they tell you, like, a lot of things. But also, this is random. And this is, like, kind of to, like, move on a little bit. It's similar, but so I was sitting in the car with someone, and they had saw a shooting star or whatever, and so, and this is kind of like a lot, and this might be a little deep, but so, like, and so that's why I call it conspiracy theories, just because, like, just to, like, kind of see honestly, like, where our minds are, and also, like, the weird stuff that, random stuff that you randomly think about and you normally don't discuss. Like, it's like, well, what if, like, or, like, do we think about that? Like, that's crazy. But so I thought about this shooting star, like, and it's crazy because, like, when God describes how Lucifer, or, the devil, dropped from heaven, right? Yeah. He said, like, it was like he just instantly dropped. Like, it was like, right, like a falling star. So, like, I was like, what if falling stars are like that? Like, what if a falling star, like, in our mind, like, I really do kind of believe in astrology. Well, I do believe in astrology.
Right.
But not, like, in the deeper sense. Like, some people say, well, oh, what's your sign? What's your sign? What's your sign? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I do say what's your sign sometimes because, like, of characteristics, like, traits and different characteristics. But, like, beyond that, like, if you actually look at the stars, like, there are different things within the stars that, like, you see.
Yeah. So does everyone, like, I mean, I'm not very much into any really belief system, but, like, I'm confused now.
Okay.
So, like, only because, like, all right, if you tune into certain belief systems, like, I don't know if you guys are, like, Christian or what, but, like, a lot of people who are, like, very like by the text like Christians.
Yeah.
You can't like you're not supposed to believe in astrology because it's like satanic if you almost like if you read the Bible. No, as if you're not like so. I think most people are very like fluid Christians. Like they pick and choose. So it's like I don't. I mean, you also not supposed to like gay people, but a lot of people who are Christian and be like, well, it's not nothing to do with me. So, but you're not supposed to. But I'm just saying. So it's like I don't know. Like what are we like? Are you saying like more so like you just have like a belief system that encompasses like what you think and then it's just like okay.
And now that you said that, because I was waiting for someone to say that, but like I think people with Christianity, not saying that I am a Christian, but it's like I will say I'm more of a spiritual person in my beliefs. I'm definitely more spiritual than religious. That's the best word to put it. Like,
Okay.
And so like, I definitely, because I grew up in church, I definitely seen all forms of different fake, phony, like seriously, like fake, phony, fake prophesying, fake, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like when people of my age group be like, oh, I don't go to church because of this, I get it. Like, you understand what I'm saying? I seen it. So it's like, I don't, and also like as far as like different things, like, with, transgender, gay, LGBTQ, like I don't judge that because like in my beliefs of, Christianity, it's like God tells you not to judge your brother and your sister. Like, I agree that has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that, everyone's journey is their own, and the things that you do in your life that you have to take that up with God. Like, I don't judge people for the things they do because I do a lot of things that are like, I sin every day. So who am I to judge anyone for the things that they do? Right. That's my belief of, I move a little different than a lot of Christians, or like I move more spiritual, and that's like I'm more of a spiritual person. But I think like also people have the battle between like religion and like science and different things like that. It's like you have to expand your mind beyond certain things because what you see is prevalent, within certain things that you see in science and like certain things of which like, so it's yeah.
And let me say this. So I kind of personally feel I'm Christian, but personally I feel like religion was made to divide people into categories and groups because we all live in a demographic world. But at the same time, I feel like, he said that it's against Christianity to believe in the stars. But when you dig into spirituality, like you were saying, it reaches beyond the category of Christianity, Islam, Buddhism.
But see, I told him like I could go pray in a mosque, like I could go and pray in a temple, like because, and it's weird when I tell people that it's because like they're disciplined towards their how they carry different things, and maybe you feel me, it might be wrong, but it's just like
if you ever watched there's a movie, right? So it's a movie called Life of Pi. The guy and he practices every religion, but my reasoning. But if you watch it, I think most people will probably get the same reasoning behind it. Is like, who am I to say that there's a right or wrong way to praise God? He's like, what he tries to say at the end is like, for you to box in God is putting a box or a limit on God. For you to say this is how God wrote this text and this is exactly what he said and this is what he means. You almost say God is not almighty. God is not all powerful. If you can tell me what God thinks at this very moment, then you something that you cannot fathom or you barely have an understanding. If something is almighty, there's no way you can box it in. There's no way you can say God isn't like gay people because it's almighty. You can't tell me something that your brain can't even fathom. Your brain would explode if you really understood something that's almighty. Almighty means you can't understand it. So if you can understand it, that doesn't make it almighty. That means you're boxing it in.
It's a sense of arrogance to think that you can understand something that, like you said, that broad span, like you said, think that you can box it, and I think it's a sense of arrogance that most religion has given people.
And what I wanted to continue with saying, with the point that I had made about the spirituality, digging deeper, like, as a Christian, I sin. So like, no one is perfect, but you're gonna meet people who be like, oh, I don't want to choose a religion. I don't want to be religion. I don't want to be Christian. I don't want to be anything. I want to just live and figure the world on my own. But like a lot of people need to realize, no matter what you believe in, everybody's gonna sin, and nobody's perfect. But it's okay to find something to believe in. Like, even though I'm a Christian and I sometimes, listen to astrology, it's universal. Spirituality is universal. Mm-hmm. It steps out of spirituality is better to have than to have a religion, because you can learn about Muslim culture, Islam. You can learn the history on all different things, so that you have a broader thinking and not just in one box. Because most Christians that came before us, they believe in Christianity and they don't want to hear nothing else, no what the religion has to say. But as the modern generation, we go through our friends passing away. We go through some of the most trying times. And I mean, everybody that we hang with ain't saved just because we saved, but that don't mean
we shun them. And that's the biggest problem.
Conversations about that, like people worship in their own way, but people believe even if they don't go to church or mass and all this other stuff.
I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and we were talking, and they were like, I don't know what I want to do, and I don't know what suits me, and I'm not a type of person. And why I say I move more spiritual, even though I am Christian, because like I will say, like past generations, they try to push their tactics or like religion, what you should do. You got to wear this, you got to do this, you got to do that, and it's like they don't realize the older generation within Christianity, because I don't think that a lot of different places experience this, but I definitely know Christianity like experiences this. Like, it's like, how do you say that like you're about God's people and you're about this, and you judge people or judge youth? Because I'll say in church, you don't see youth. You don't see the younger generation in church. You understand what I'm saying? So the younger generation are being influenced by different things, but like I said, because I've been in church for 25 years and 25 now, and I've seen a lot of different things, I definitely feel like it's because they didn't know how to reach the younger generation and the things they were going through without actually
attacking the situation.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you have to let people figure out their way in, spirituality for themselves. Like, I don't know, that's just me, but
So I have a question. Do you think it's a right religion?
There's no right religion.
I don't.
I was going to say this, but I was going to wait a little bit. I definitely think religions were formed for agendas. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I don't believe in certain things, but like you said, whether on different points of the earth, I definitely believe certain things were structured for agendas, like Christianity, slave masters and different people who used to teach certain things that was not even were for their agenda of what they wanted them to do.
Cultural appropriation.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's just like
brainwashment, almost. If you want to think
about it. So it's
they
just like
get their point across.
It's just like, do I believe the text and what it reads? And I agree with you on a point that people read and they pull and they pick what they want to pick.
Definitely.
From the Bible. But I think that you should have a level, and this is not just Christianity. Spiritually, you should have a level of discernment, to know right from wrong, right, and to actually know like what's good and what's bad. Because
all animals innately have a right and wrong. Well, it's an innate thing. Like,
and so I was
a lot
gonna
of
say,
animals don't just wake up and kill their lion fathers and shit. Like, it's just not. It's an innate.
I get what you.
It's an innate physical trait. Like, it's like an innate thing from just, I don't know, evolution. Like, you're not gonna kill your mom because just like
it's something in you.
I think in the earth there were always good and evil. Like, it was always.
People know what they be doing.
It was always water and oil. It was always black and white. Like, I believe it was always that point. Like, that spectrum.
Well, I think it's like it's a lot. I feel like it's a lot more gray area than you give it. Like, I think like good and bad.
You feel like there was a lot more darkness, or
no. I just think good and bad is just like it's like I feel like it's only one thing people really consider like good and bad, which is like murder. Which is like, other than that, everything else is through time interpreted differently. Like
I think everybody has a choice.
I
think that every being, whether it be an animal like a cat, whether it be an animal like in the wild, whether it be somebody who is sleeping on the streets, or whether it be somebody who has a whole bunch of money, everybody was built with the quality of right and wrong.
Free will.
Everybody has the choice to choose what they want to do. Now you have some people out here.
what do you think marrying a kid is right or wrong? Like if someone married, if a 40-year-old married a 12-year-old, is that right or wrong?
I think it's wrong.
Morally
They're not
wrong.
on the same level.
Yeah, morally.
But you know,
wait,
at one point that was right.
Before we get into that, I just want to say this: that people have a choice to choose what they want to do. Now, people know that certain stuff is wrong and they still engage in it, but that's their choice. You know what I'm saying? But as far as marrying a 40-year-old, marrying a 12-year-old, the girl probably hasn't even had her first blood yet, and yes, that's wrong.
Well, no, I'm just saying like,
why are you
and
chasing a child when they're a woman of your age and of your stature? That's just completely.
but through history that's changed. Like what I'm saying is like, at one point that was totally just fine. Like it was like it would be the same thing.
Even if it was by law.
Well, no, I'm saying you grew up right now, so you think it's wrong now. If
I
you
think
had
those
grew
little
up,
girls even
They
felt
was
that was
always
wrong.
wrong.
Those little girls was probably like,
You saying if it was the
I
norm,
guarantee you,
that-
if you had grew up in the time where it was completely normal, you would have thought that's completely normal. Like it's just you have the ability to say that's wrong.
I think
now.
the society might have felt that was
I still
normal,
would've
but the
thought it was
people
normal.
who were actually going through it, those
And-
girls who were actually going through it like this
Yeah,
right here.
So
like,
I'm
why
gonna
am I
give you
marrying
exactly.
a grown
I'm gonna give you
man?
a very good point. Like
Okay.
at one point, a lot of people thought weed was a bad drug. Like it was a horrible drug.
Right.
At one point, people thought alcohol was a horrible drug or
I
a
don't
horrible
think this
thing.
is the same. I'm
Very
sorry.
true.
But no,
I mean,
I'm just
But I
giving
get
you.
where you're
I'm just
going
giving you
with it.
the
Yeah.
analogy. Like the analogy is, at one point, a lot of people thought this was wrong, and now people switched their mindset and said, "Okay, well, this is not as bad as we thought it was." It's the same thing where people thought this was perfectly okay, and then people throughout time was like, "It's not really right." But right and wrong has never been clearly like certain things are right and wrong in terms of murder, I think, and like murdering people who
It's more
raise you and stuff.
wrong, though.
That's innate. But other things, right and wrong, is something.
All right, so let me
society
say
does.
this. I have two things to say. All right, so let me say, all right, with the age gap, because no, for real, because I agree, but also disagree in a sense. 40 to 12 is a big age
Yeah.
gap.
It's very
because
big.
it's like a 12-year-old doesn't
The man
have the
knows
knowledge.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
that's what I'm
man
saying.
knows
It's
A
a child.
12-year-old doesn't even have the knowledge. She's going off of what you are
it's a
teaching her. So
child.
you're kind of like
You grooming her.
exactly.
Molding.
So it's like, all right, but in the same sense of what you're talking about, let's go to like the 80s and the 90s in hip hop and different things like that. There, because I mean, if we're gonna speak about it, we really got to talk about it.
Going all the way
Like,
into
I'm just saying, like, if we're gonna talk about it, like,
Yeah.
So I'll go into it.
there were like a lot of 20-year-olds dating,
the Aaliyah R. Kelly dynamic.
Oh wow, yep. That's one of them.
dating, you know, 18, 17, 19-year-olds. And so like now today in today's society, we like, oh no, that's not cool, that's not right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But let me say this.
Well, I'm not
On
talking
the
about the
age
80s.
gap
but-
thing. I'm sorry. Age gap matters to a certain extent. Now I can't be a fully judgmental person and say, oh yeah, they wrong. But I think the age gap matters. Like, let's say if you have somebody who's 16 and 19. That's okay because they're in the same type of mindset, thinking they're both in high school together probably. If not, he probably graduated a year before. Like, think about a 16 and 19
Still in
years.
high
The meaning she's a junior and he's
Still in
maybe
high
a freshman
school.
in college. That's not a bad
Oh, I wasn't trying to
He like a
debate.
sophomore.
I know,
I'm not
I
trying to
understand.
debate.
That's like a
I'm not
sophomore.
trying to debate if it's right or wrong for age gaps. I'm trying to tell you. All I'm trying to tell you is right and wrong is defined over time. It's not the same thing. Like 20 years from now, something that's completely fine now will be wrong, and something that's wrong now will be fine. It's just
I
just
think
changes.
that's only
The society.
because of
Do you think I think
It's not. It's just, and the whole point I'm trying to make is it's not innate. It's not right. Certain things, right and wrong, are not innate. Like certain things, killing your parent. I don't think no one has ever had to tell you from the time you're 3 years old to the time you're 40
Yeah,
that's just
certain
wrong.
things, of course.
But society defines when it's wrong to marry someone in certain age groups. At certain points, people didn't track time the same way.
Right.
People didn't track being 40 years old by a 365-year calendar year. It's just based the way you look and
Yeah.
how big you are.
But
like
murder
it's
is
everything
not
is just
always
changed.
wrong either, though. It's a lot wrong in the world,
but
No. I'm saying
privacy is the biggest
innately
thing.
wrong. So innately wrong is something like you don't have. No one ever had to
Not
tell
a
you what's right or
question.
wrong.
Yeah.
No one. It was no law. No one has to tell you that it's wrong to kill your mom. Like no, I'm pretty sure no one has to tell you
But
that. Like
so-
you just know that's wrong.
Right.
Like tell me another example of something you think that when from the time no law needs to be made. Fuck the law. You don't need a law for it.
Okay.
You know that it's wrong.
To your point, though, a lot of the things that, like you were saying, the arranged things, I think right or wrong is often bent to convenience as well. Like a lot of the arranged marriages and things like that, those are political a lot of the time, to where I need something from here, so you need children.
You
okay,
gotta
I got
marry
a
the
daughter.
prince from
I got
here.
a daughter that's over here. You got a son, so then we want, like, a lot of that was based on, like she said, with religion is based on your personal convenience of what you want to do at the moment. So I feel like people shape that with religion, whether it's marriage or children. People shape things to
To
how,
fit
what
them.
what you want to get out of it. Okay, if I need
Right.
something out of this particular situation, I'm gonna justify whatever I need to justify it.
And a lot of people do wrong to protect themselves.
Exactly.
Like it's not like they want to, but if I want to live, if I want to have another breath, I might have to do something that's wrong.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, it's a lot of people out here living like that. And who's to say that they can't defend themselves? But the world we live in, murder is murder, regardless. There's no like,
Yeah, but
nobody. The police and the government, they don't really care.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we
Even
kind
if you
of,
was the victim.
I'm sorry.
You're
Oh,
right.
but now that we're kind of on politics, that kind of brings me to our like my next topic, and so it's really about basically how society is right now, even with like governing our laws, the different things that we're going through in society.
He's freestyling it right now.
But also, like, so I wanted to talk about how, I feel like, Trump kind of opened the door to sovereign states. And I don't know if everybody,
Sovereign.
yeah.
No.
So, like, basically, because of, different things that happened during the pandemic, it kind of made different states feel as though, like, states always create laws, don't get me wrong.
Definitely.
But it made them feel as though that they're their own
We're
independent.
not a part of.
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
We're
Like,
not a part of.
like they're their own independent state and they don't have to listen to authority. And I feel like we're moving towards like a place where it's like our democracy is like
Falling.
a joke, and definitely falling, but it's really a joke. And like oftentimes people want to come over here, I'm not saying that like the United States, we, don't have free will, freedom, different things like that. We don't have opportunities, but like there's a lot going on behind closed doors that's not really like being touched on and being discussed. And like, I definitely feel like we need to begin to have that conversation like with each other. Like, I don't think people are aware or even paying attention to how they're trying to close the gap on the middle class. Like, before we know it, there will be either you're rich or you're poor.
It's becoming-
like,
it's becoming,
it's no like in between. Like, and that's why I feel like we're moving towards a place within like careers where people are now like establishing themselves to do, more business, or, people want to live their life the way they want to live their life, but it's just like, it's a lot going on. I don't know. What are your
honor,
opinions?
It's no respect in the world. Like,
So wait, what's the question?
that's why people basically, I feel like what Desiree was saying was like basically like, how do you feel about the way people live?
No, more so
without
like,
no-
what do we feel about today's society and the government and the system and how things are being ran, and
Okay,
that's
right.
just
So what
basically
I was
what
gonna say was like, I feel like I'm gonna talk on Black people because that's our nationality. Like, we live in a way where as though we kind of don't really care too much anymore about anything. So like, the government, when they see us doing the things we do, partying or rapping about drill, drill rap, or when they see us being who we are, because we're now all products of our environment, they are using us as a tool to get us out of the way, and they are capitalizing on us at the
Our
same
culture is
time.
being way more accepted.
Like, we have so much more to offer, but we're so
wrapped up in the evolution of what has come to be a black man or a black woman, that we're following trends more than we're actually living with honor and respect. Like, I'm not saying you're not supposed to be out here surviving, because I'm not going to say that, because if somebody, try to harm me, I mean, I'm going to defend myself. Right. But at the same time, it's like,
I think
we got to be a little bit more together so that we're not being used.
I think we need
more
more
sense of community.
I was ready to say that. I think we need more community, but not even just that. It's like I definitely feel sometimes like we are all right. So I was having this conversation with myself. I feel like black people either choose the entertainment industry or sports, like to either like get out. Like it's either I'm going to be a rapper or I'm going to do some type of sport to help me to get to this point. And it's not until like, to me, people get to a certain level financially. And when I say people, let me say African Americans or black people. Let me just say
to a
black.
specific age group or just in general?
Just in general.
Okay.
Because someone in our community, you could be 50. Like if you don't know what to do with your money financially, on a financial aspect, how to invest your money, how to flip your money, how to make things work for you to acquire, like assets and generational wealth, then like it is to me like it like you'll lose it faster than you have obtained it.
A lot of black people will never have generational wealth.
What'd you say?
A lot of black people, they don't want generational wealth. Like if you talk to most black people,
so?
if you talk to most black people, they want Gucci, Prada, and it's a great analogy, right? So most people say like, if you gave other black people reparations, all the money would be exactly what it's at. It wouldn't be gone. It'd just be exactly in the same hands as it is right now. You would buy the Mercedes, you would buy the Gucci, you would buy the Prada.
I agree with that.
It wouldn't change nothing. You would just have money that you would spend back for the same people that where the money is.
I think that's any culture though. I feel like
No, that's not any
it's
culture.
not.
So
you don't think so?
No, and let me just say this. I'm sorry, CJ. Let me just say why I feel this way, right? I feel like we don't even realize how much we're influenced by stupid stuff. Like, all right, so like TikTok.
Okay, I would say that's us more so than anything.
TikTok, right? All right, TikTok is we are influenced by, the funnies that's on TikTok and different things like that. But we don't even understand that, in China, they aren't even allowing TikTok to be the same feed that you get. Like the feed that you get is not the same feed that they get. They censor it to more so of knowledge and education and educating their people. You understand what I'm saying? We worry about the glitz, the glam, proving to people that we have money.
And TikTok, I'm not gonna say I don't like TikTok because I'm on TikTok. Don't delete my account. But no, listen. But they like I just said about capitalize. Not saying they capitalize off of us all, but we are the main influence on a lot of stuff. Like
most
our
of
culture.
But this is why I was saying about entertainment.
Most
entertainment
on there, it would be boring.
Like
no, the entertainment industry, period.
Entertainment now is our culture.
But listen, we have been entertainment to people since we were brought to this country, and that's what we're
very true.
And that's what we're not even understanding. Like we had to shuck and jive and make these people laugh and all that, and we're still doing that in the modern day, and we're not even seeing that.
It's just more acceptable.
We're entertaining these people globally now, like on a bigger platform, and that's what they want us to do. They don't want us to go and be, lawyers, doctors, because guess what? When you are trying to obtain, becoming a lawyer or a doctor, it's harder. They give you more hell for it, more grief for it, because that's not what they don't want you in that field. They don't want you in that lane. They want you to stay where they can do and manipulate and, have control over the type of person and the things that you do. But also, I definitely kind of agree, and this is my last thing, and I'm going to open the floor. I definitely feel like, I don't know. Please, oh my goodness, it was not Malcolm X. I don't think it was Malcolm X, but 𝚙𝚑𝚐 Marshall, wasn't 𝚙𝚑𝚐 Marshall?
Just said.
Okay, but he said that he doesn't believe that we should have integrated.
It was Malcolm X.
Malcolm.
Okay.
Malcolm X.
But he definitely believed that we should have never integrated as a people, and now, like I was like, why? We should all be one. It'll never be one. It'll never be one on that level that we want to have it because other people don't look at us.
Well, no, a lot of other cultures aren't integrated. They're just what
Classism is a very real thing.
The real thing. I mean, but the real thing is like what most people would strive for is what people should have strived for is like a equality of like opportunity. So like everyone should have the same opportunity to get the same education and everything. Not that everybody should fucking go to school together and fucking sit next to each other if they don't like each other. Like why force me to go to school with a whole bunch of motherfuckers that don't like me? Like it's stupid. But the biggest thing is like a lot of the big things like that's the problem with black culture is just it's each other. Like most women want flashy guys who spend their money with white people on designer brands and designer cars that go into white people's pockets who drive the cheapest cars. Like it doesn't matter. So the whole point is like a lot of stuff won't change. I mean, I'm not.
It won't change, and I agree with you, but it won't change until we like, damn, like we're poor as shit. No offense, like you understand what I'm saying? Like,
well, you're already poor.
I'm just saying, but it won't be like that. I just feel like people don't open their eyes, so it's like, damn.
But you're not gonna go for the guy that wears the regular clothes anyway. It's
I
like
think certain people's eyes are open.
I mean, most
people with money eyes are open. They know they
People
have
with
enough.
money,
Hold on,
it's-
that's right. I'm not meaning to say it like
Go
that.
ahead, girl, go ahead.
But I just think that people who out here in our city that have the money could be giving back at least to the schools. I'm not saying give back to the homeless because everybody's a grown adult. There are jobs that's hiring. I'm not saying feel pity, even though we can all help each other. That's brotherly love. But it's more so important to help the people or the kids that's coming up after us so they don't gotta go through everything we go through. These people are woke. They just won't. They just don't. They have other goals, other things they want to do with their time and with their money.
I agree with everything that y'all said as far as our culture, but I think what a lot of people don't really, because we don't know and we don't see a lot of because they don't show us, there's like classism and elitist in every culture. So because we not shown the same things, there's plenty of boardrooms where it's the same white people, like you said, I might be showing another dude, oh, look at this chain, look at this watch. It's the same boardrooms, maybe full of people in other cultures, like, oh, look at this or look at that. So just because, and I agree with what y'all was saying, where we are very much, because I feel like we were deprived for so long, when we do get something that's now like, look, like you see it, like you see I got it, right? Like it's not real until you got an audience or somebody to say, all right, I see you, where that's the one thing I don't see other cultures really need is that validation that we kind of seek from everywhere.
I mean, yeah, classism is the biggest separation between people in the world. But like, I mean, the biggest issue that black people face is like it's not the classism. It's more so like black people spend the most money out of any other culture. Like
we do.
They have the most buying power.
Outside of our culture.
No, so like it's like no, just period. Like I mean, I get what you're saying, but like outside of your culture, but still also just like spending money. Period. Like black people will spend the most money in their lifetime. They'll save way less than they'll spend in any other culture. Yep. Like, so I mean, per year, black people spend the most money. Like
Someone told me black people spend money or use their money to make it seem like they have it.
Yeah, I've heard the same.
And other people don't need, like you said, that validation to show people that they have it. And whole time you trying to prove that you have it.
It's the culture though. It's not. I
don't think it's the mindset and the culture. Like it's
the guys and the girls. Most guys don't want to date girls who don't have 40-inch bust down weaves and the big ass and everything else. And most guys and most girls don't want to date guys that don't look flashy. You're not dating the regular smuggler Joe. That's just the culture of black people. Most Asian people are not doing that. Asian people are not like looking for the Asian that got a fucking, I don't know,
a Bentley.
Like they don't. I mean, of course they would like. I'm pretty sure there are Asian people who like that, but I'm just saying most of them like. I've seen Asian people with a lot of money who. Well, there's another Asian guy who just you wouldn't know had $1. Like you, but he has money, but you wouldn't know it.
They dress and they act like
they show it through their children. Like they show it through. I'm gonna put my child in this school. I'm gonna put my child in 16.
So it's just what you value. It's just the value. But it's not a whole thing about saving money. It's a mindset thing. It starts with a whole.
Important.
It's a whole.
All right. So I want to kind of go back to what you were talking about. So I read this post. And I actually kind of was talking to someone the other day about business or whatever, because I'm a type of person whenever I do acquire, money or whatever, I kind of believe in community, and I actually would love to buy back the block. But we were talking about Jewish people. So when it comes to business, listen, when it comes to business, what's good? Because, you haven't really been speaking it. But when it comes to business, it's like this with them. Like, I'm going to make my money back. If I invest, like, regardless, they're going to make their money back. It's going to be returned. So it's nothing. It's nothing to me to give you some money because I know you're coming to me for business. You're either coming, if I own a clothing business, and you're acquiring something from me for whatever you're doing, or if I rent cars, I own cars, whatever business I have within like Jewish people, they make money amongst themselves, like
they work together
in the
community.
Yeah. Yes, I feel like I'm sorry to cut you off. I feel like the Jewish community, well, as far as I've seen inside of Baltimore or whatever, I feel like the Jewish community has the most sense of community.
They were given the privilege
because you are right, but at the same time, the Jewish people have been through their own shit too.
Jewish people are just white people. I don't understand how people like say Jewish.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Jewish people are Jewish. I don't even understand Jewish, but people like consider Jewish. Like the way people say Jewish people is almost like if they were a race.
It's a
people.
cultural difference.
It's like, but I'm just saying.
White color skin.
But I get what
black
you mean,
black people can be Jewish. Like but Judaism is like a religion. Like
no.
Like let's just not call them what they are. They're white people. Like it's just white people who are Jewish. Like follow the Jewish religion. Like
more than.
It's just like how the way they act. Like it's like you put them in a category of their own because it's like they act as that. Like they out this joint.
Me and you from, they got a whole
so this is my thing,
bro.
Right? So this is the biggest thing.
Whole Jewtown, like, and these people stick together. Like in the Jewish community, like when people die, it's literally only one funeral home that they use.
I think at times, and this is the thing that kills me, right, with black people. We don't. No, and I'm gonna get criticized for this. I know that I am, but it's black people who say we don't have the same opportunities. We don't do this. We don't do that. And it's like you can create those opportunities amongst your own community, and that's what I meant when I quoted Malcolm X. It's like we've acquired those things among ourselves. Like we've built airports, airlines. We had our own shops, our own businesses. The thing is, we are too busy at times beefing or trying to keep up with each other, trying to be flashy, like he said, trying to do this, trying to do that, that we don't buy the block, that we don't buy the land. These people are buying up land, and it's enough land for all of us, but like certain times we need to understand as a people where we need to be because if we don't acquire these things and we allow other people to take these things, we will have nothing.
But I feel like that's also that plays a part in a lot of black people. Just has the mindset of when I get something, I gotta leave. I gotta leave. Like when this is like, a lot of black people, if they not the flashy type or whatever, when they get their money, they're dipping. They get the fuck.
And I get why. I understand why.
I've come to agree to that.
Right. Like,
I understand why. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's just like we could be so much farther if we actually
help each other and come together.
Black people always probably be the poorest people.
I think that it takes
in
podcasts
America,
like this.
yeah.
I think it takes people with opener mindsets because everybody's not ignorant. I think if one person leads the flock, more people will join.
It don't even start with just talking. It's music. It's hip hop.
A lot has
love and
to
hip hop TV shows people watch.
But listen,
it's Lil Baby. It's like
in the church, like.
It don't even start with
Lil Baby.
But listen, you see how far that goes because guess who is the majority that owns these TV stations? This is what I say. We don't even understand, mainly, and I gotta look at the camera because I don't need to get canceled. Okay, Jewish people own
these.
Don't
anti-Semitic stuff.
I'm just saying, yeah.
I do too. Come on,
I don't have anything wrong. I'm not saying that.
Come on.
That's not saying. I'm not trying
I
to
work
get
for
canceled. I'm just saying, majority of these people who
been rather
listen,
quiet.
I'm
I was
good.
gonna say,
I'm good.
these
I'm
Jewish
not
people
saying
take care of me
nothing
now.
wrong. I don't have time. I don't
I
have
think
nothing
that
to
the
give.
truth is the truth. I don't think anybody on this
I'm not.
podcast is trying to be offensive
No,
to
not at all.
anybody.
Not at all.
But
We know that.
Come on now.
I'm just
They pay the
saying.
bills now.
But they do
It's
own
only one group of people that can get you canceled. Is Jewish people.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so I'm good. But what I'm just saying is they own these companies, and so like the things that are on there and different things like that, and like I was talking about the TikTok situation, like we as a people need to start doing things that influence our culture in a way of just growth and elevation and
Positivity.
like love and hip hop.
Nothing
Negative.
positive
You understand what I'm
about it.
saying?
Nothing positive.
You
about
understand
Nothing.
what I'm saying? Real
Nothing.
hot,
There's no
reality
love
TV
or
for
hip-hop
black
on
people
this.
in general. Like it's
And the
just,
government loves it.
it's just.
They love to see us
it's
doing
bad,
these things to each other.
But like
It's
allow
airing on TV. And
Black ink.
Because the ratings bringing them money.
them money,
It's
them,
bad though.
not
It's bad. It's
us.
exploitation.
we get a, I mean, the people on there get a cut of the check, but it's nowhere.
You're not getting a
near-
real piece
No,
of the
you're not
pie.
getting-
Yeah, I'm not taking
pie.
People always blaming the institution, but they wouldn't put it on there if y'all didn't watch it. So I mean,
And that's true too.
Yeah,
that's
that's
true
fair.
too. I agree.
But I think
like
it-
he was saying, the mindset, the negativity, we draw towards that
As a
dumb
black people,
stuff.
There's-
as black people,
but-
we should feel disgusted.
Yeah,
with
there's got to be
certain
some integrity in that. Like you
Yeah.
can't pay me nothing to watch somebody slap me on camera and then you go, oh yeah, we gotta do that again. Like no, we not. No.
We gotta do that
Hey,
again.
C's, I need you.
What?
I need you to really smack Queen.
How
this
much are
time.
you willing to do for money?
I need you
Like,
to really slap the shit out.
What are
of
your
them.
boundaries? I don't know.
I would say
Respect.
when it comes to the physical stuff where they be throwing the drinks on each other, and then, that's my like we can have disagreements.
But
It's
well,
almost like
I'm pulling a Ray J.
Yeah, it's like I'm selling. I'm not about
I'm
to
pulling
sell
a Ray
my-
J. I'm pushing you in the pool. What? Shorty was out there throwing the drink in the
Then,
face and
yeah,
all
the,
that.
the relationship stuff. Like I'm not about to go through all my
Any man
relationship
push me
stuff
in the
on
pool.
camera.
I had
No,
that
she
with
was
a-
violating.
No,
She
you
was
don't-
violating
you
though.
don't-
No, she was violating.
That's the
She
most,
threw
like,
she threw a glass of wine on him.
Yeah, she
The
was.
water.
Throw a glass of
She
wine
picked
on
her
me
food off the
That was
plate
a lot.
and threw it at him. Like
That was a lot. She
No,
was doing a
I'm
lot.
not
See the
gonna lie.
debate though? Why are we
I
debating
think
this
that
right
you
here?
can throw a glass of wine on me back. If a girl starts a thing, she
No, he-
hold
but-
on.
he tried to walk away though.
Hold on, one mic.
I think that if a girl does something first, a man should walk away.
Ooh,
But
I
all
want
men-
him. I don't want to hear that.
all men don't. So what I'm saying is, let's say that he just threw the glass of wine back on the girl. All right, now you're even. Not saying that you're supposed to get even, but to push me in the pool,
That was after. But the thing about it is, she threw the wine on him. She threw the water on him. He didn't do nothing. She threw the food at him. He got up from the table. He was trying to walk away. She got in his
they
way,
both were deserving of what they got.
and he said, "Whoom," and she went in the pool.
But see how much we entertain this dumb stuff.
How quick it got. Like,
Yeah, for real. Like,
It shows you what not to do. I take lessons from stuff like that. Like, all right, like, let me not. throw
But
a
even
glass
that
of
though, I'm
wine
not about to
in my
exploit
pool.
my relationship. Like we're not about to go through all this. It's nothing you can pay me.
you already had me televised
in
what's going
confessional,
on.
like yeah, I
and
really cheated. I feel bad about it. I'm not. No.
she ready to watch this. Like, what you mean?
Her mother watches live TV. Like we're not doing that.
So this is the last thing I'm gonna talk about tonight, and we're gonna close the segment. But like I said, the government distracts us from like the bigger picture.
Right.
Like, and the government distracts us from a lot of things that they're doing, as far as like I don't know if I want to get too touchy, but a lot of different things. And I think that we definitely need to open our eyes and really see what's going on and what's happening in the world. There's a lot of different things happening, and it's a lot of different gaps that they're trying to close. And it's a lot of different things that they're doing that we need to just be aware of. Also, like gun laws, different things like that. Like, I think that and I can't even just say, I would just say the younger generation, because now the younger generation has their hand on guns. Yeah. And this is not just black people.
Younger and younger.
And I'm not, this is not just alluding to black people. It's just like, we are living in mental chaos. And I feel like we are going, the world is very sensitive, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, mentally, there's a lot wrong with what is going on in the world right now. And I feel like that just keeps getting proven every single day. Also, what the media shows us, like the different things that the media shows us, the different things that we watch on television, like why does the news keep showing us killings and different, like why can't it be an aspect on there?
Not even just the media, but movies. Everything is starting to be more and more dark. Like P Valley, y'all know everybody love P Valley, and P Valley first season was off the chain, and the second season was good as well, but it was a lot of dark that got incorporated into that. Like, and I'm not saying that you with the gun law, it's a lot going on out here. You have some people who are carrying a gun to protect themselves solely because the cops might, do something crazy or whatever, like they live. But you do have some people out here who just love gunfire. Like, they just love that type of stuff. And I'm not no judge of nobody, but I just feel like we need to have some more type of restriction on the way that we're doing things when it comes to guns.
In Maryland, it's
Getting out of
already
control.
very hard. Like, I have a HQL, and in Maryland, it's already very hard to even, like, to get that, it was a lot to even go through. Like, they made certain things easier where you can now have a walk and carry without having a business, so that's okay. But that happened as the murder rate rose. That wasn't something that they just did to be like, oh, leniency. The murder rate started rising as to people who didn't have legal guns, as to people who did. So then they made that adjustment. But like you were saying, it is very hard to where even the self-defense law incorporates with that.
I feel like we're living in a time where people act like they don't know what to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even the police act like they don't know how to be or like how to actually obtain order with people. And I feel like, to me, that's exactly what they want. I feel like we're under and this is just my perspective, and I feel like the pandemic should have shown us that, because like I said, and if we're talking about conspiracy theories, let's talk about it. So we had swine flu, H1N1, COVID.
Took it back.
You understand what I'm saying? These things are done every 4 years or every couple of years.
every like 5, 6. Yeah, like 5,
so
6 years.
It's about population control to me, because what did we have? What was it, like a census or something?
Yeah. That was like 2010. Yeah.
You had a census, and then right before the census, you didn't hear nothing else about the census after COVID or during COVID. Did you hear about the census?
It was great, experimental.
We have to really people don't pay attention to the world that much. I'm just that type of person who does.
We're so lost in things and places and being and trend setting and clout chasing. It's a lot of stuff out here that people got their mind on, and their mind could be focused on building wealth. Like, I just reposted something on my story. I follow 19 Keys on Instagram, and they just made this new page or whatever. And like most first time people who are breaking generational curses, most of that money is spent on giving back to their parents and making sure their parents are good, inventory on product, and good content, marketing. So it's like, as that first time curse breaker, you're kind of like trying to get your feet off the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to be an influence in a world where no one's listening. And if no one's listening, everybody's gonna be damned. Like, I don't know. I hate to say it like that, but
this is the last thing I was gonna say. In agreeing with something that CJ said about media or whatever. With the media, like, all right. So I would just say that I feel like more so now than ever, we didn't really think that hip hop and rap music will really influence our children the way it does. And this is now not just black children. You understand what I'm saying?
That's true.
This is not just, and so the influence when it comes to talking about drugs, rap, like, they are influenced by that. But at the same time, like we talked about, like maybe a couple of podcast episodes ago, you don't want to hear about these kids, or people don't want to hear about good stuff or like positive stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
It's lame.
Exactly. So it's just like, I don't know. We have to get to a point where like we are like it's. And
just, I would hate for it to get to Judgment Day. No offense to any religion, any culture, and everybody wants to be apologetic. Like, y'all gotta get your life together now. Like, I'm not saying it's gonna happen overnight, But like, just
What's
start-
Judgment Day?
Judgment Day meaning the day that the Lord of all lords, the God of all gods, calls the earth home.
So now,
I think that people should just start living better, doing good. I'm not saying I'm going to be perfect every day. I'm going to still sin and still.
no, I just have this question though, like, so like, because I always have like weird questions about stuff like this, right? When someone says like I respect very, very like Muslim people because like I feel like Muslim people are the most strict religion. Like if you're gonna follow a religion, I feel like if you're really gonna be about a religion, you might as well be about a religion. Like you might as well follow everything.
You mean in total?
It doesn't
Yeah,
happen
like if you
overnight.
might as well completely submit.
Perfect.
No, but that's the Christian thing about it. Like,
But even Muslims are not perfect. Like I know a lot of Muslims. I'm not.
all right, I'm not talking about. That's what I'm saying.
I know what you
I'm
mean,
talking
your
about people.
neighborhood
I'm
Muslims.
talking about
People say, I'm
Muslim
not
people
talking
that
about your
submit.
neighborhood Muslims.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm talking about from Iran Muslims. I'm not talking about your label.
But I know.
I ain't talking about you.
I don't know, like,
Me, yo, that
people
went to-
know.
yeah.
I just feel like.
Yeah, but I watched it. All right, so this is a great comedy skit I watched one time, right? They said, you know how you can tell the difference between a Christian and a Muslim? You tell a Muslim to blow themselves up about some
I think
Islam.
we watched that together.
Yeah, they
we
gonna-
watched that podcast together. Was it on a podcast?
Well, I don't know if it was a podcast, but it was a comedy. It was like Eddie Griffin. So he says, I can tell a Muslim to blow themselves up about some Islam. They're gonna do it. I tell a Christian to blow themselves up about some Jesus. They're gonna say, oh no, he wouldn't want me to do that.
That's not funny. That's not funny, but that's hilarious.
But the difference is that there are Muslims. I'm not saying that all Muslim people completely submit, but there are more.
They believe in suicide in Muslims?
No, that's not what I'm saying. See,
You saying you follow?
I am
yeah.
saying that there are Muslim people who are completely submit to their religion, completely in all ways.
Yeah.
Most Christian people pick and choose their religion, and the
No,
problem.
that's not most. Don't say that because
There,
some people who will fully submit too.
most people who are Christian will pick and choose in their religion. I mean, I can guarantee you that you're not going to find a lot of Christian people who are going to say everything in this book I follow to a T. They're going to say, I'm not going to follow this one. I'm going to follow that one. I'm not going to follow this one. And then God is going to forgive me. So at that point, your religion has no power. Because at that point, I can follow whatever the fuck I want to follow.
Islam,
No.
Same, because you was right. Only reason why I keep referencing that because that's what the religion you said. But there are some people out here because if you're gonna say that Christians pick and choose, there are some Muslims who also pick and choose.
I understand that. I'm not debating
I
that.
think he's saying
That
that's more of a group of-
I think people, most people who are probably saying this, you're thinking of mostly like Nation of Islam people, or you're thinking about Muslim people who are indoctrinated in American culture.
Yeah.
People don't understand that there are a vast majority of Muslim people
right.
in
Different
completely different countries
Yeah,
that follow a complete like when I mean like they follow the shit like you can't drive you whatever the fuck the shit says you just they're just doing that shit.
They're orthodox.
It's like I mean it's people might seem like, oh, that's crazy, but like you're not gonna find a lot of Christian people who follow.
100%.
It's not a Christian state. Like there's not a Christian state that follows Christianity to a T. There are Muslim states that that the religion is the Bible,
Yeah.
and the religion
That's the law.
the religion is the law. Exactly. There's not many. There might be one place in the whole world which is what.
And that's what makes America hypocrisy more so than a democracy. Because we are supposed to be a Christian nation, the Crusaders. You know, it's a lot that ties into Christianity.
But we moved
and the
away from
religion.
that though,
No,
so it's like.
I'm not going back to a topic. I'm just saying like.
No, you're good.
It's a
No,
lot
I'm saying
of-
we moved away from that. Like the United States moved away from
It's more
God,
of
one
freedom.
nation.
Yeah,
You
it's
understand?
Yeah,
what I'm
for real.
saying?
Yeah,
Then,
yeah.
it was built off the Christian
more capitalism.
law.
Well,
But like
America is supposed to be the land of the separatism of religion and state. You know, so it's like that's the only
And
place.
a lot of people who were Christian when they came over from Europe had agendas of
But like I
secret
said-
societies and stuff like that. And now the secret societies are coming in so much into the light with movies, Walt Disney, a lot of the other stuff. But I'm not gonna get too much into it because we are on the podcast. We're gonna go on YouTube. But I'm just saying that Christianity, I understand what you're saying as it being one of those religions that are not people don't fully
Yeah, I
commit
see the
to.
point you was.
And it's like, well, are we a Christian nation if there's subliminals and secret
Well, no.
societies that build our nation?
I think I just really was starting was when you're saying people getting judged. I was thinking like no one can really get judged if no one really follow. Like everyone fits the T if no one really follows any
Nobody
T.
can judge
It's a very like I think a lot of people are very hypocritical when it comes to Christianity because it's like it doesn't make any sense. If no one follows anything, it doesn't matter. Like nothing matters. If no one follows a rule, if you go to school and everyone breaks every rule at school and then everybody gets a straight A at the end of the day, it does not matter. Nothing you do matters in this religion. Your whole religion makes no sense at the end of the day. It's just fuck it. Like I just show up at the end of the day and go to heaven.
There are people who follow.
What did we say about
But this is what I'm saying.
He's saying that there's more people who follow.
You take complete. Like, see, Christian Islam. A lot of Islam people are going to denounce you if you pick and choose in Islam.
That's right.
They're going to people that follow the Islam law, right? But I'm saying, but what about the people? You said the majority of Christians don't, but what about the minority of them that do? What do we have to do?
No, he was saying it's a bigger percentage
I
that do.
He said that, but I'm saying, what do we have to say about them?
I'm saying this is what I'm saying.
We bashing the majority, but what do we have to say about the minority?
I
agree with that.
I said I'm defending what I'm.
But no, you made
that sense. That makes sense.
I think you're getting away. So what I'm trying to say is, more power to the people who follow everything to a T. Those are the people who I feel like if you're going to follow a religion and you're going to say.
But do you see how you didn't really give them too much credit?
No, you're not listening. Listen. What I'm saying, so those people, great, because if there is a heaven and a hell and people are going to go to hell and these people follow their religion to a T, then okay, I can believe there is a heaven and a hell and some people are going to go to hell. If you're going to tell me everybody can do whatever the fuck they want and at the end of the day just say, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to heaven, then who the fuck cares what you do?
I don't believe that's true. But see, that's why I said like.
But then if you're going to say it's not true, like if you're going to say that, then you're going to have to live to your code of your Bible if you're going to say some people are going to hell. Because if you don't live to your code of your Bible, you're basically saying, well, you can't judge if you're going to judge other people, you have to judge yourself first. So you can't say that, you can't say other people are going to go to hell, but I'm not because I'm just.
And you feel like there's a lack
I think that's the
misconception of Christianity.
Yes, I definitely do because it's like with Christianity, people's like, "Oh, you're supposed to be this perfect person." Da, 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 da. And like, no,
it's not the perfect thing. That's the problem with Christianity in itself, though.
That's how it's presented sometimes.
That's the problem with Christianity itself. It's like people lean on the first thing people lean on in Christianity is not any of the tenets. They lean on. You don't have to be perfect. That's the first thing most people lean on in Christianity. They're not saying, I'm going to follow these tenets to the best ability I can. Yeah. And then if I do break something, cool. It's not that. The first thing you lean on is I can break whatever. And then
no, I don't agree with that. It's like when I say I don't have to be perfect, it's like this. I don't believe it like that. I believe it like this.
Sorry for something, you gotta actually not do it again, or try your best not to do it again.
Exactly. You're saying Muslim cultures, there's no option for you to be like, I'm gonna follow this and not that.
So, question: do all gay people go to hell?
I don't think gay people go to hell. I don't know. In general,
I don't know.
I don't think gay people go to hell.
I think that we are told that it's wrong.
I think each individual person.
We are told that it's wrong, but we are also told that you are not supposed to judge your brother and your sister. Exactly.
But judging and God judging is two different things.
It is, but he tells us already not to judge. It's not up for how are you a sinner judging someone else for their sins?
That's the one thing. Yeah. That's the one thing in religion that I never understood why that was something that I can look at you and be like, oh, that you're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
like, who are you to do that? Like
what you do in your bedroom, regardless of
the sin. Like he said, if you're a murderer, if you steal, whatever. That is not up to me.
Yeah, I never got
to judge you for that. You understand what I'm saying?
I never got where I got the authority to be like.
So you can.
I don't have that authority. I don't have.
Do you believe you have the ability? You can do those things. Then you're okay with doing those things.
I don't think it's okay.
I don't think you have the ability. You're supposed to follow. Like I said, you have commandments. You have laws. You have.
I'm not saying you can judge them. I'm saying
me personally as a Christian.
Can do those things in your.
Me personally as a Christian, I don't agree with those things.
It's like this. It's like. He asked, well, do you think they're going to hell? And do you think...
Yeah, no, I don't think...
I don't think I have... My opinion matters at all.
I don't have that authority.
My only job is to make another person feel like they're loved on this earth and they have somebody.
It's not that. I just... See, like, I think... We keep getting away from what I'm trying to say.
I get what you're saying.
Our opinion about something that we're not supposed to be judging on.
No,
it is. But however, I kind of do want to drift away from this a little bit.
But last point, the only point I'm making is, if you're going to have something that says something, it's the most hypocritical thing that makes no sense. You can't say, I follow this thing that says this, but I don't believe it. It doesn't make any sense.
So it don't matter if it's the Quran, if it's the Bible, nobody's gonna be perfect.
I get your point, but
the shit says you're going to hell if you believe this. Like, it doesn't. The shit. Oh my god, bro.
he feels strongly about it.
It's not. No, I don't feel strongly about it. It's,
I get it.
Hey, no, I
You
don't.
can feel some type
No,
of
no,
way
no, no,
about
no.
it.
Every
It's
religion
complete.
sins
No,
still.
it's complete hypocrisy though. It's complete.
Every religion is hypocrisy. You can't.
But that's the point. Every religion is hypocrisy.
Everyone.
It's the people, but it's not the
Everyone.
religion. It's the people in the religion.
Everyone.
And it's not everyone that's in the religion. It's just the.
I think people follow governments and laws and rules, but there are a lot of
Like
different things
conversations like
that you
these,
are supposed
I
to
didn't grow
do.
up in,
Like if we're gonna
you know,
talk about it,
everything.
if we are gonna talk about it,
Everybody
like,
sins.
and
Everybody
I really didn't want to get this
Everybody.
deep into it, honestly, truly, but like,
Nah, for real.
killing
Jews
other
definitely be
people.
sinning.
Okay, so you're gonna bomb people. Like, all right, this is just my ideology. That's why I say I feel like that's just your way of thinking. I'm bombing other people.
But and if you believe
Like-
in the Muslim God, why you believe that killing is right even in that? Even if you're standing up for Islam,
Are we saying that that's
you don't have
just?
another nation.
Oh,
Is that
that's
just?
a whole nother story. So like.
No, that's not.
No, no,
because
no.
it's not.
No, no,
it's
I'm-
really not.
I'm
And that's why I
gonna give you
didn't
a
want to get
breakdown
into it because
Hold on, you said
of
that,
this
hold on,
right
hold on.
here.
You said that
But I'm just
Muslims-
saying.
hold on, that's right. You said that Muslims fully commit themselves, and sometimes they fully commit themselves to the fact that they suicide, meaning killing themselves and other people. Is that a part of the Muslim culture?
Because suicide is actually a
Killing is
sin.
okay?
See, look,
Killing yourself is a sin. It's a sin.
You listen.
Well, maybe not
It
the
is.
Muslim culture,
You're
though.
you're conflating the argument I'm making.
We're not.
No,
we're,
you are.
we're
I'm
not.
gonna tell you why.
But that's why I said I'm gonna leave it at this
You
because
said
I don't want to get too deep into it. We're not going back and forth. It's done. Yeah, it's done. Like I said, I did want to just say one thing. We were talking about knowing all things. I was watching a movie called Lucy, right? And remember when she tried to? I don't know if anyone else. I think maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But she was trying to know all things, or like something happened where she began to like know all of this information or whatever, and she turned into like matter. I wanted to say that earlier when we was talking about. I feel like we was talking about a lot of different things, but I mean, like you saying, you're not God. You can't know all things. You can't be on this earth to me and know all things. That's not your authority. It's above you, yeah, basically. But I guess that's the floor tonight. That was the conversation. Please, I actually really do want you all to like, comment, but please comment. I want to hear y'all conversations. I want to see what y'all have to say to this conversation tonight. Yeah, logging out, signing out. This has been the Hot Out Podcast. Thank you for tuning in with us.